We are now joined by UFC lightweight Scott Holtzman. Scott, thank you for joining us.
Hey, glad to be here.
Our first question comes from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cageside Press. Your line is open.
Hey, Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Gabriel, how are you?
Doing pretty good, man. Thanks for asking. This is a big opportunity for you. How do you feel when this guy is coming out and saying he is, quote, extremely disappointed to be fighting you because you're not ranked?
Yeah, I mean, he said that publicly. He said that everywhere. He's campaigning for a top 10 opponent on, on social media, all that. So, I mean, I think we've seen it time and time again, man. You underestimate a guy, you go in there, you look past him, and next thing you know, you get beat. So he's got to face me man to man in there. He's he's got to get in there and pay the piper. So I'm not worried about that one bit, man. It's a fight. I'm confident myself. He's already been up in the rankings. He fell out, and now he's trying to climb back in. But I hadn't seen him beat any ranked opponents lately either. So it's a good matchup.
I mean, they say don't make it personal, don't let the anger or anything cloud your judgment, but is there any extra heat in the training camp because you want to make a statement after he says stuff like that?
No, it's business as usual, man. I always train hard. I always do all the right things. I'm a true professional. I train for each guy just as hard. It's a big opportunity, but I'm prepared for it. I'm ready. Like I said, he's been up there. He's fallen back down. I'm on the way up. I'm trending upward. So it's my time.
I want to ask you about that because in the past you've said, logically you're supposed to try to move up the rankings, but you said you're more of a BMF title kind of guy and a kind of fighter. Can you expand on that idea a little bit for us?
Yeah, I've been in a couple fights where guys just want to grapple. And I mean, I've done it too. So I'm looking for exciting fights. So I want fans at the fights that the fans like. Winning a bonus every now and then is nice too. But turns out here lately, all the exciting fights are up in the top 15. So if that's what I got to do to chase those good fights, if I got to fight those top 15 guys, then so be it. And if I end up being ranked, then fine too. But you don't get paid any extra to fight a guy with a number by his name. So why not make it exciting?
Who would be your ideal opponent for a lightweight BMF belt?
Beneil Dariush on Saturday night.
Great answer. Thank you, Scott.
We'll go next to Bryson Hester. Your line is open. Bryson, your line is open.
How you doing, Scott?
Hey, doing good. How are you, Bryson?
I'm good. So you're fighting the number 14 guy in Beneil Dariush. I know you were talking about how much, rankings don't really matter, but how does it feel to, you're 10 fights into your UFC career, and things are starting to pay off. You're starting to get, a ranked opponents, bigger names, just talk to me how you're feeling. How does that feel to get the recognition?
It feels good. It just feels like I'm starting to validate all the hard work that I put in. I've never cut any corners. I've always trained hard. I've always dedicated my life to it. So it feels good to finally have some validation and also to be buzzing through these contracts and make a little more money. So I'm excited, and I think I belong up there. So I belong up there with the top 15 guys. I believe I'm one of the best in the world, and the people around me do too. And Saturday night, we're out to prove that. I think everybody has to find their way into the rankings somehow. So Saturday night's my chance to prove it and to also kind of introduce myself to the world because he's a fairly well-known guy.
Right. And you've been training at Gym. How long have you been training at Gym O out of Gastonia now?
I've been with the coach, Jeff Jimmo. I've been with him my entire career. He's from Charlotte. He finally decided to open a gym, and when I had a baby 2 years ago, I decided it was better to stay closer to home in Tennessee. So now we've kind of built up a training camp there in Charlotte. We've got Brian Barberina, Impa Kasaganai. He's fighting Tuesday night on the Contenders. some other Bellator guy. Joe Selecki's come from the Contenders. We got a whole group of real good guys, and my coach Jeff Jimmo there is real good. So I've been traveling there for training camp through the week, and then back home on the weekends to see the baby.
Gotcha. So how was traveling out from Charlotte to Vegas? How did that go down for fight week?
It was easy, man. I've made this flight tons of times. I've fought here 2-3 times, so real easy. 2 flights. They spaced them out. Didn't have anybody sitting next to me coughing on me, so passed my COVID test. So that's all that really matters.
All right, and last question for you. Your last fight was one of the best fights of 2020 so far, and coincidentally, Dariush's last fight was one of the best fights of 2020 so far. So how important would you say it is to have a dance partner that's gonna look to bring it on Saturday night?
I don't think that's important. It'd be way easier on me if he just lay down. But I mean, what can you? Everybody know. You know what you're getting with Beneil. You know what you're getting with everybody in the top 15. I think the lightweight division is the toughest division in the entire world. So I think even 1 through 30. I think the number 30 guy, whoever that might be on any given day, could beat anybody in the top 10. On any given day. So we're also good, man. That it doesn't matter, but it's nice to have a good opponent, and obviously the validation when I get that win.
All right. Appreciate you, Scott. Good luck on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll go next to Damon Martin with MMAfighting.com. Your line is open.
Scott, I had heard when I talked to Beneil a couple of weeks ago, he had said that when Sean Shelby called and told him about this fight, that you had mentioned Beneil as a potential opponent. Can you kind of give me an idea like how this came together? Did you mention Beneil as an opponent you wanted to face?
Well, there weren't a whole lot of guys available, so we started talking about who's available and who's ahead of me or right around me. There weren't a whole lot of guys, so I just started mentioning names. So Beneil was one of about 5 guys that I mentioned. So yeah, he got mentioned in there.
Regardless of the comments about not getting a top 10 opponent, but at the end of the day, he still took the fight. When some guys we know for a fact don't, they're not interested in fighting a guy who's ranked below them or not in the rankings. Is there a certain level of respect that you have that he did ultimately still take this fight, though?
Yeah, no doubt. He didn't have to take it. I think if he'd passed on it, nobody would have cared. He had to sit out for a little while longer. So, and we're all here to make money too. So yeah, respect to him for taking the fight. He didn't have to. So I appreciate that, but it doesn't mean I owe him anything.
We saw it in his last fight. He got the big knockout, highlight reel knockout and a great performance. But we also know Beneil has a very, very big background in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and grappling. Again, you mentioned you like the exciting fights, and Beneil has traditionally been a pretty exciting guy in his own right. But on that aspect, if he does take it to the ground, if it does become that kind of match, how confident are you matching your ground skills against a guy like Beneil?
Well, I don't want to put on a pair of spats and grapple with him. That'd be silly. And I don't want to put on a wrestling singlet either. But there's some intangibles there in MMA, and I like my odds there. I like my takedown defense. I like my get-ups, but he's no slouch on the ground, man. He's a world champion. He's got all these wins. So it'd be silly for me to just want to grapple with him, but I'm not scared to go there. I've been there before. I've been taken down. I always get up. I've never been submitted. I work my way out. So I'm confident there. And it'll be a little bit of everything. And, from the last fight, he did have a big knockout, but what I saw was he was almost knocked out just before that, and a couple of mistakes from the other guy led to that knockout. So, I see a lot of key takeaways that can help me in that knockout.
My last question, that's a great segue to my last question, which is that, if he does want to engage in a bit of a firefight with you, do you feel like that plays right into your hand if he does decide to start throwing bombs? And we saw it in that sequence where the fight ended. They were trading. Obviously, he got a great knockout, and kudos to him. But do you feel like if he invites that kind of fight, that could play right into your hand?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I like to stand up and throw. You've never seen me back down from a fight. I'm in the pocket there. I throw down, man. I'm a old Western gunslinger from Tennessee. So, Yeah, I'd love that. That'd play right into my hands. And the thing about Beneil is he always gets hit. He always gets hit. He gets hit hard. His face is always there to be hit. So he's going to be hit Saturday night. He's going to hit me. I'm going to hit him. That's how I always fight. So we'll see who can stand in there longer.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thanks, David.
All right, thank you very much, Scott. You're all set.